Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, good evening. You also haven't done your homework, Anjali, have you?
No, ma'am.
I know you haven't because I checked. Never mind, So last time what had we done? I'll just show that quickly. Something is wrong with my net, I think, today. It's slow. Let me check the speed. Very slow. What has happened? I don't know. Let me disconnect and connect again. It's extremely slow. Oh, because of this. Yukti has also come. Till I'm.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, good evening. Even you haven't sent the homework. But never mind, we'll just quickly go through. Huh? Yes, Yukti, you. Nobody has sent homework. 1 second, bachcho. Let me check the speed. I think all this was happening for Himanshu's sake. Himanshu is also joined now. But the speed isn't good. Now it's becoming better. Okay. Himanshu, you were there in the previous class, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now I'm sharing the screen. Hopefully it will share. This Google Meet is not allowing me to share only today. It says you are presenting. Presenting what? Let me see if I can share this. No, it's not shared. Something is wrong. कुछ चेंज ही नहीं हो रहा है. I can't show you anything, बच्चों. What do we do? It's not letting me share. I'm going out and then I'll try to join again. Shall we have this class tomorrow? What do you say? Tomorrow is what? Tuesday.
Then with evaporation, we evaporate that something liquid or liquid. Then it evaporates and it is separated. Now what is crystallization?
When we make ice, we reduce the temperature to make a liquid into solid. So it crystallizes. Crystals become like ice cubes. And
Distillation is the method.
for what? Gas to liquid.
For separating two liquids. Two
Absolutely.
immiscible liquids.
That is different. उसके लिए you could also be distillation basically when supposing evaporation has taken place, then we collect the vapors and cool them down, and then they get converted into water again. Okay, so conversion into liquid form. Okay, so now let's go ahead and where is it? We'll see after elements. So elements we know are made up of only one type of atom. Anjali, is this all clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Why weren't you explaining? So this gold and all we've done. We'll watch the video again.
Sometimes atoms of two or more elements combine in a chemical reaction.
Wait. Can you hear or should I increase the volume?
Ma'am, please increase the volume.
Okay. Now who is coming? Somebody was wanting to join but hasn't joined. Okay.
They are examples of elements made up of two or more atoms of the same element. Sometimes atoms of two or more elements combine in a chemical reaction to form compounds.
Like if I mix hydrogen and oxygen.
It's not just mixing. A complex process called chemical reaction is required.
Okay.
Yes, in air, all the gases like oxygen, nitrogen, etc. coexist as different elements.
Okay, so hydrogen and oxygen, when chemically react, form water.
Yes, its chemical symbol is H2O. Two atoms of hydrogen and one atom of oxygen combine to form water.
And water is liquid, unlike hydrogen or oxygen, which are gases.
Yes, the properties of a compound are different from those of its elements.
Okay. Now, Anjali, what did you understand? Tell me.
When two atoms are combined, like hydrogen and oxygen.
But tell me once. So what happens when they combine? Two atoms.
Chemical reaction of hydrogen and oxygen, it forms
Liquid. One atom of oxygen. When they combine through a chemical reaction. So what is happening? A chemical reaction. What is happening? H2, because two atoms of hydrogen and one atom of, so water is formed, which is a liquid. So what is the main this thing of compounds? That it elements contained atoms of the same type. It contains atoms of
same type.
compounds. Do compounds contain or they contain? Compounds अगर मैं बोल रही हूँ तो we should use they. They contain atoms of same type or different types. अभी हमने बोला this is a compound. Water is a compound. Chemical reaction हुआ. So a compound was formed. So compound contains atoms of one type or different types?
And different types.
Yes, of different types. And how do they combine? Through a chemical reaction. Now supposing we have air. Air has hydrogen also, it has oxygen also, it has nitrogen also, it has argon, it has so many other gases, right? Air, because air is a gas. So this is a mixture of all these gases. But if there is a chemical reaction, if a chemical reaction takes place between hydrogen and oxygen, then what do we get? We get a liquid, we get water, which is a liquid, while both these are gases. So one is they contain atoms of different types. Second, their properties. Yukti, tell me, what are their properties like of compounds? Are they similar to hydrogen, to the things which are combining as in a chemical reaction, or are they different? Properties of compound. Tell me, Yukti.
Yes, ma'am.
What are they? Are the properties the same as of those combining atoms, or they are different?
Ma'am, they are different.
How? Explain why you are saying that. Looking at this example only, we have two atoms of hydrogen, they are combining with one atom of oxygen and they are making water. Tell me. So two gases are combining together to form what? Yukti, what are they to combine to form a?
Water.
Water is what?
No mixture.
No, is it?
Liquid.
It
Which
is,
liquid?
it is a liquid and it is a compound. Why is it a compound? Himanshu, why is water a compound? Yes, why is water a compound? Wait. Yes, Himanshu?
By chemical reaction.
नहीं, अब वाटर तो बन गया केमिकल रिएक्शन से, मगर इसको हम कंपाउंड क्यों बोल रहे हैं? Why are we calling it a compound? Because it is simple, bete. Because it has contains atoms of different types. हाइड्रोजन अलग टाइप का एटम है, ऑक्सीजन अलग टाइप है, इसलिए. और प्रॉपर्टीज ऑफ compound, the properties of compounds are different from the elements. ये क्या है? हाइड्रोजन is an element, oxygen is an element. From the elements from which they are formed. Understood everybody? तो बेसिकली क्या हो रहा है? कंपाउंड बनाने के लिए एलिमेंट्स आपस में react.
Elements are combined, then compound is made.
So because they are combining through a chemical reaction. So we say elements react together to form a compound. Understood? Anjali, Himanshu?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so आगे पढ़ते हैं.
Any other example? This common table salt.
I guess this is a compound.
Yes, made up of two elements, sodium and chlorine.
Okay, so what is the symbol for sodium? Himanshu, what is the symbol for sodium? Sodium.
SA.
No, it is not SA, it is Na. Okay, sodium is Na. And chlorine is, what is the symbol for chlorine?
C.
Cl. Okay? Cl. Now what is happening? Sodium plus chloride or chlorine are combining through a chemical reaction to make what? क्या बनेगा?
Liquid.
नहीं, लिक्विड नहीं. क्या बनेगा? सोडियम प्लस क्लोरीन क्या बनेगा? Na और दूसरा क्या लगे? Cl. क्या बना? NaCl. तो हमने इसका नाम क्या दिया? सोडियम क्लोराइड. क्लोराइड.
Sodium
क्लोराइड. तो जो हम नमक खाते हैं ना, दैट इज कॉमन सॉल्ट. सेम सोडियम क्लोराइड होता है वो. सोडियम की अपनी अलग प्रॉपर्टीज हैं, क्लोराइड की अपनी अलग प्रॉपर्टीज. जब वो केमिकल रिएक्शन से आपस में मिले तो क्या बन गया? कॉमन सॉल्ट, जिसको हम बोलते हैं सोडियम क्लोराइड. व्हाट इज इट कॉल्ड?
Sodium chloride.
देखा कितने इजीली पता चल गया कैसे बना ये केमिकल रिएक्शन से. अंडरस्टूड?
Yes, ma'am.
एवरीबडी. युक्ति?
Yes, ma'am.
So sodium chloride, it is also called common salt, which we use in our food.
Combined by some type of chemical reaction to form salt.
Right, sodium chloride. To be precise, one atom of sodium and one atom of chlorine chemically joined make up sodium chloride or common salt.
Can you increase the volume? It's chemical.
Wait, let me increase it further. I had increased it. अब देखो.
To form salt.
Right.
Can you hear?
Sodium chloride. To be precise, one atom
Yes,
of sodium
Okay.
and one atom of chlorine chemically joined make up sodium chloride or common salt.
Let me guess its chemical symbol. Na of sodium and Cl for chlorine make it NaCl.
Wow, yes, the compound is a brand new material with completely new set of properties.
And it does not have the properties of the elements that it is formed of.
Yes, common salt is neither shiny like sodium metal or pungent smelling like chlorine gas.
And to
Okay. So what are the properties of sodium and chlorine? Who understood? Yukti, your turn. Huh?
sodium is shiny.
Yes. And chlorine? It has a bad smell.
Ma'am, it is chlorine or chlorine.
Chlorine or chloride, when we call it, when it combines, we say sodium chloride. Chlorine gas ही होती है, which has a very pungent smell. Pungent smell. Pungent. Pungent means bad.
Pungent.
Okay, pungent smell. But does sodium chloride have a pungent smell? Does salt have a pungent smell? Yukti? Does it smell?
Huh?
Does salt smell bad?
No, ma'am, because they both are mixed, so that is why it doesn't smell.
Because they have reacted together, and it is not shiny also, and it is a salt. Okay? Actually, if you look at it, sodium is a metal, and chloride is so, which means it is it is a solid, and chlorine is a gas. So a solid and a gas are now combining to form a salt. Okay? Through a chemical reaction. समझ आया सबको कि नहीं आया, या आप भी कंफ्यूज हो रहे हो? Tell me, everybody. Tell me quickly. If you have any question, you can ask. Anybody has any question? कुछ समझ नहीं आ रहा है तो पूछो. बस इतना ही हम करेंगे आज, फिर हम एक वीडियो जल्दी से एक और देखेंगे अगर टाइम बचा तो. हाँ, आज हमारा बहुत टाइम वेस्ट हो गया था. Shall I move ahead? कोई भी कुछ?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Nobody is answering me today. Why? It's not that boring.
Reverse the process into sodium and chlorine. Separating it is not easily possible.
Can you tell me an example of something that has both elements and compounds?
Air. Oh yes, air has elements like nitrogen, oxygen and also compounds like
Water, vapor, and carbon dioxide, to name a few.
right.
Okay, so now whose turn is it? Anjali. So a mixture which has elements as well as compounds. Mixture,
Air.
air, that has elements as well as compounds. Okay, now can you name a few? Elements कौन से हैं इसमें? Example is air. Tell me which are the elements present in air and which are the compounds present in air. हवा में पानी भी होता है ना. हम जब बोलते हैं ह्यूमिडिटी हैज इंक्रीज्ड, व्हिच मींस द वाटर वेपर्स हैव इंक्रीज्ड. सो टेल मी, यू अंजलि, नेम द एलिमेंट्स इन एयर. वन एलिमेंट एंड वन कंपाउंड. अंजलि जल्दी से बोलो, एक एलिमेंट का नाम और एक कंपाउंड का. बोलो बोलो.
Ma'am, nitrogen.
Nitrogen is an element and compound. पता है?
No, ma'am.
क्यों? अभी तो हमने किया था. चलो, लेट मी आस्क हिमांशु. हिमांशु बताओ, एयर में कौन सा कंपाउंड है?
Ma'am, atom.
क्या एटम? समझ नहीं आ रहा.
Hydrogen.
हाइड्रोजन तो एलिमेंट है. कंपाउंड बताना है. युक्ति, कैन यू टेल मी? क्योंकि इनमें तो सेम टाइप का एटम है, कंपाउंड में तो अलग अलग होते हैं. युक्ति, कैन यू टेल मी?
What, ma'am?
A compound present in the air.
Oxygen and
Oxygen is again an element. That is also an element. Air is a mixture of elements and
carbon dioxide.
carbon. So carbon is an element and carbon dioxide means what? That so one atom of carbon reacts with two atoms of oxygen combine chemically to form carbon dioxide, CO2. तो इसमें दो अलग अलग, हिमांशु एंड अंजलि समझ आया? तो इसमें दो अलग अलग टाइप के एलिमेंट्स हैं, कार्बन भी है और ऑक्सीजन भी है. तो ये कंपाउंड बन गया. कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड की प्रॉपर्टी कार्बन से भी अलग है और ऑक्सीजन से भी. ऑक्सीजन हमें अच्छा है फॉर breathing, it is required by us, but oxygen we throw out because its properties are totally different. Any other example now can you give me, Anjali? Any other example of a compound present in air? Anjali or Himanshu, whosoever wants can tell me. What else combines? इसमें से ही देखो, अभी हमने किया था 2 atoms of hydrogen and 1 atom of oxygen combined.
H2O.
Yes, what is that? H2O.
H2O.
हाँ, तो ये क्या बन गया? It's a compound, right?
Yes.
Similarly, Anjali, और भी ऐसे बनता है, नाइट्रोजन प्लस ऑक्सीजन, नाइट्रस ऑक्साइड मेरे ख्याल में N2 होता है कि NO2 होता है, आई डोंट रिमेम्बर, लेट मी सी.
Ma'am, sodium plus chloride.
Oh yes, air has
N2O.
elements like that.
ये देखो अब यहाँ पे, see all these, N2O, nitrous oxide. See, so these are all the elements, oxygen, hydrogen, carbon, nitrogen, chlorine, fluoride, all these are elements. And carbon is combining with oxygen to form carbon dioxide. So this becomes a compound. Hydrogen is combining with oxygen to form water, H2O. Okay? Then nitrogen is combining with oxygen to form nitrous oxide. Again, what is it? Compound. So these in circle are all compounds. Then we have carbon is combining with hydrogen here to form what? Methane. This is also another gas, but the properties of methane are different from the properties of carbon gas and hydrogen gas. And plus these elements are different. Carbon is a separate element, hydrogen is a separate element. So methane is a compound. Then chlorofluorocarbon, so which means what? It has chlorine, it has fluoride, and it has carbon. So three of them are combining to form this compound, chlorofluorocarbon. Okay? Okay? Where is...
Yes, ma'am.
ओके तो ये सारे नेम्स लिखो अपनी कॉपीज में, राइट डाउन ऑल दीज. सो व्हाट आर वी टॉकिंग अबाउट? कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड, then water, H2O, then CH4 is what? Methane. इसमें क्या हो रहा है? एक कार्बन और 4 हाइड्रोजन के एटम्स ज्वाइन कर रहे हैं. देन व्हाट डू वी हैव? वी हैव क्लोरो, उसका मेरे को फॉर्मूला नहीं पता, इट शुड माइट बी फ्लोरोकार्बन, ClFC. आई डोंट नो हाउ many of each. So this much I am not sure, but the name of the gas is chlorofluorocarbon. Then which other this thing is there? Nitrous oxide.
Ma'am, N2O.
Yes, nitrous oxide, N2O, which is what? Nitrous oxide. So these are the compounds present in air. These are the elements present. Cl is also present. F is fluoride. So F is also present. So these are all the elements present in air. These are the compounds which are formed by the chemical reactions of all these elements separately to form different things. Okay? Understood, Yukti?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yukti से भी पूछ रही हूँ. Where is she?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So now we'll just finish this off today.
Oxygen and also compounds like
water, vapor, and carbon dioxide, to name a few.
right.
Now that we know so much about elements and gases, can we list the difference between them?
That sounds fun. If you will
Chalo,
want-
now you have to do this.
It's a deal. You go first.
Elements consist of same type.
So, what are the differences? Make this table and note it down. I'll just go through it. You have to note down the table, write it down, and send it as homework to me. Okay? Is that understood, everybody?
Yes, ma'am.
Only Anjali is saying yes, ma'am. What is Yukti doing? Yukti, you are still working on your project?
No, ma'am, I'm not working.
Good.
Of atoms, whereas compounds
are made up of two or more types of atoms that are chemically combined.
A compound can be broken into simpler elements using chemical reactions, whereas elements cannot be broken down further.
This we know because that atom is the smallest part. It cannot be broken down further. So elements we cannot break down. If we have water, it is a compound, we can actually separate out hydrogen and oxygen from it. So it can be broken down. Right? Next.
We can form endless compounds, whereas as of now there are about 170.
I think it has increased to 118 now. So there are, I think, 118 elements. But compounds we can form because all these 118 elements can keep reacting in different ways to form endless compounds.
That have been observed.
A compound is expressed using a formula, whereas elements are expressed as symbols.
Okay, so now H2O is what? Yukti, what is H2O? Is it a symbol or a formula?
Ma'am, it is a symbol.
H2O is not a symbol. It is a formula. Why is it a formula? Because it explicitly tells us how many parts of which element combine with how many parts of the other element. For example, right? If we say H2, so two atoms of hydrogen are combining with one atom through a chemical reaction to form H2O. So this H2O is a formula. So compounds have formulas. But H2, it is an element. This is the symbol of the element. Oxygen, it is the symbol of the gas oxygen. Okay? Understood? So all these,
Yes, ma'am.
so these compounds which I have written, all these are formula. And all these are symbols. Okay? These are formula and these are symbol. Formulas nahi bolte, normally we say formulae. That's the plural of formula. And then the sixth one.
Examples of compounds are water, common salt or sodium chloride, sodium bicarbonate, etc.
Examples of elements are hydrogen, oxygen, carbon, etc.
Now my chocolate.
Okay, now your homework, not your chocolate, is to write the differences between elements and compounds and submit it. Plus whatever else we have written in the class. And I want you to write different examples of compounds here. Okay, and you can increase it also. Same also you can keep plus others which we have done in the class.